was so proud of him. And to be a little boy, was no way. I don't know what to do with a little boy. And I was so thrilled. And Lawrence was beyond himself. He didn't know what day it was. Well, Mr. Coda was we lived in the court. He was across the court. So he'd walk over here and knock on the screen, and Larry would, they carried on a conversation you wouldn't believe. So Larry was just a shot in the arm for him. Both of them were babbling, just, neither one knew what the other was saying. But that was all right.
Going to New York every Christmas. Mother loved going, Daddy hated. And Larry would take us, and he would take my hand and grind it in between his fingers. We're walking down the sidewalk, he's be on your knees in so much pain. He just thought that was hilarious. We tried to ditch veterinary chance we could.
And I happened to had just turned in to the street. There's a little hill there, not much, and I heard a horn and a brakes, squall, and I looked, and here was a boy up in the air over a car, coming down, the bicycle coming down over here. The boy had been hit by a car, ran up there, and the only ambulances we had were run by the funeral home. They were really hearses, is what they were. But they brought the hearse out, the ambulance out, and put him in there. And I drove on straight to Lawrence and Julia's house. When I rang the doorbell, Lawrence came to the door with a napkin in his hand, and I had to tell him that. I said, "Yes, your son just got hit with a car." He was talking, so.
That was one of the things we had a lot in common in scouting, I say.
Yeah. And how was he with it? I mean,
he did a good job, yeah. He got his eagle. I don't know how many merit badges he got, but he got his eagle.
Troop 501, that was in Whiteville. Well, normally trying to think of some of the, it's been a while back,
I keep my eyes wide open all the time.
Found out that a good way to raise money was to sell first aid kits. You had little kits for the house, you had a little bigger kit for a place of business, even a smaller kit for a boat. Larry's daddy was president of the Walkmore Bank. Chuck Sears' daddy was president of the Southern National Bank. And they got together, and Larry said, "Look, Chuck," says, "we got to raise some money here." Said, "Why don't I call on your daddy and you call on my daddy?" Opposite sons. We sold more first aid kits than you ever saw in your life. We had to order more.
And I recall out here many mornings, I'd be here at 5 o'clock in the morning trying to see where Larry's up, and Larry's not up. Lawrence, he was up 5 o'clock in the morning drinking coffee, and Lawrence would need to find out where Larry, get him up. And Lawrence would fuss at him. "Hey, remember, son, you're supposed to get up. You're going to get up 5 o'clock. You need to be up ready to go."
Daddy would like to see a more structured child. That he wasn't. He was always kind of going in different tangents, I say.
Everything he did to extreme. His car, his doing parachuting, scuba diving. If somebody would do it this much, Larry would go this much, like 10 times more than he should. He burst his eardrums one time doing scuba diving. He jumped out of airplanes doing firefighting, parachuting until one of his friends got killed. So I mean, he's just a very extreme person.
His favorite car was Austin Healey, and then he had like a GTO type car, and then he had a Barracuda. And then when times got tough for him, he ran out of money, he bought a little used Renault. And of course, Daddy didn't like the fast cars, but he loved the fact that Larry got a Renault because he couldn't go more than about 50 miles an hour, and he was not many people wanted to ride with him, particularly the opposite sex. So Daddy had him where he wanted him. So.
My oldest son, Sandy, and Vincent were very, very good friends. And one summer we decided we would take a long walk, a long hike. And so we planned to walk from Virginia to South Carolina. Larry was a little bit older. He volunteered to drive an old van that one of the scouts' fathers had. One day, the governor heard about it, and he came over and had breakfast with us, and he was shaking hands with everyone, and he got to Larry, and Larry said, Larry, that was a fine thing you did. And Larry said, I didn't walk, I drove the vehicle and carried all the materials. So Vincent and Sandy were standing on the side and said, no, he knew he couldn't make it.
Lieutenant Governor Bob Scott showed up, and that's what made Sandy and I kept saying, you're not in shape like we're in shape.
Larry had just done the Boston Marathon, and he said, hey, you went out and did a little old 26-mile marathon, and that's nothing compared to this 150 miles we did.
Well, John F. Kennedy back then said if you're in shape, you can walk 50 miles in one event.
President Kennedy had just, and his brother, I think, had just walked 50 miles in one day and made the statement that was a test of a man. So Larry challenged him. He said, I will race you to Wilmington. Well, at midnight, the night we got back, Larry came to the door with Vincent and Sandy and said, will you pick us up in Wilmington? I said, well, let's measure it. So right now we'll go down to the railroad track and set the odometer at 0, and we'll drive to Wilmington until it hits 50, and I'll put you out. Well, at 3 o'clock in the morning, we put the boys out and waited about an hour and had a breakfast fixed. And Larry was 3 miles ahead of him. He was running. Finally, sometime in the afternoon, I was driving along checking on him, and Larry's had blistered his feet running. He'd gone 35 miles in. He was in pain. So we got Band-Aids and so forth, and he got to the railroad track. Oh, it was 2 or 3 hours ahead of Vincent and Sandy.
Larry, instead of walking it, he wanted to run it. So he ran it and gave out at about 30 mile point, and then hobbled in, and he ran in front of us, that's right. But when we finished it, Sam and I got in the car, went to the beach that night, and partied and had a good time. Larry went home and had all kind of problems.
It's just one of my favorite thoughts, that here these kids went out and walked across the state and then had a 50-mile race. A true test of a man.
Trees swaying in the summer breeze, showing off their silver leaves.
Larry had the auburn hair. I could see him coming all the way across campus because he was always doing his hair like this, with his hands through it. He still does that.
Laughing all our cares away.
The first time I really knew who he was, he and Jay Van Reed, who was his roommate, were having some kind of an altercation in the school cafeteria, and somehow Larry wound up on top of a table, attracting a lot of attention to himself, basically.
In the starry sky.
He asked me to go watch skydiving with him, and we watched a soccer game in the rain, huddled under a poncho, which was kind of fun. And then we went out that night to Rogers, which was a famous hangout there around St. Andrews. And I can remember right now, the first time he touched me was that day. He put his hand on the back of my neck, and I just melted. And from then on, I had big stars in my eyes. And my sisters and mother said that they'd never seen anybody that literally had stars in their eyes. They were so much in love.
She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, 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 yeah. You think you've lost your love?
We decided to get married over a 2-week leave between AIT and before we went off to officer training.
And she told me what to say. She said she loved you.
Now we got married, had a 1-week trip to the beach at Myrtle Beach, and then he left. After he graduated, he immediately got drafted. He had been drafted several times and got a student deferment. So we knew that because of the Vietnam War, he was going to be drafted the minute he graduated. So we went to a dinner and a dance sponsored by the Army. But then about 1 o'clock in the morning, I had to meet Larry in the woods behind his barracks, pick him up and take him back to the Holiday Inn, bring him back the next morning before daybreak. And here we'd been married 4 months.
Cherish is the word I use to describe.
In Alaska, Larry was the company commander for the 808th Engineer Battalion, and he would go out on winter maneuvers for as much as 10 days at a time in sub-zero weather, as low as 57 degrees below zero. And the big thing for him was watching his troops, especially when they would be patrolling at night. He was so afraid that one of the boys would fall asleep, so he would get up in the middle of the night and check them every hour to make sure they were okay.
Much as I cherish you.
When he went to Korea, he was a company commander in the 802nd Engineer Battalion. He had 300 men in his company. 100 were American, 200 were Korean. So he needed a translator. He had a translator that accompanied him everywhere. He had his own Jeep and he had use of a helicopter. So he was all over that country. His company made a runway. They built an orphanage and they built a church. They were very much into rebuilding the country. And he got 2 commendation medals from the United States Army.
All my little plans and schemes lost like some forgotten dream. Seems that all I really was doing was waiting for you.
When he met Jess for the first time, he felt very awkward holding him the first day or two. But by the time he left, he was home for 2 weeks. They were fast friends. And then when he came back home at the end of his tour to stay, I met him at the airport with Jess in my arms. And Larry didn't even hug me. He just took Jess.
Papa's got a brand new bag. And did this crazy scene. It's not too fancy, but it's fine and pretty clean. It ain't no drag. Papa's got a brand new bag. It's a jacket. He's doing the fly. Don't play him cheap. like the boomerang. Hey, come on.
A winter's day.
I saw a new side of him the day that Jess turned 8 and we decided for him to join Cub Scouts. Larry took him to J.C. Penney's, and we're always very frugal with our spending. But he goes in J.C. Penney's and bought one of everything that had Cub Scout emblem on it. I couldn't believe it. He's spent a couple $100, and I thought, what has happened to this man? I've never seen him like this before. Little did I realize that was just the beginning.
It was a joy because he took right in, he helped us, he became a very helpful parent, and eventually became Scoutmaster Committee Chairman, and he took right over from us. And your dad had the most beautiful sense of humor and the most patience in the world with the boys that I ever saw.
He never seemed to lose his temper like a lot of us would. He was always looking for the development of the kids. He made it a point to know where each kid was and what he needed and what his strengths were. He was marvelous with the leadership, but he was also very good with just the individual scouts and the troop.
He had a kind of a southern demeanor. He would size things up and speak very clearly.
One time we had the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts camping together. One brother didn't have a fishing pole. So we took a stick, and of course at that age of probably about 7 or 8, turned around and looked and said, well, I need bait. So we put a rock on the end of the string. He said, well, what am I going to do with the rock? And your dad said, catch rockfish.
I guess the highlight of the whole thing was going to Philmont with your dad. And we'd start out early and hike all day, and by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we'd usually get to where we were going to do. And you would never seen anybody put up a tent faster than your dad and I could put one up so we could get in there and take a nap.
I'm trying to recall some mischievous thing you did. I'm sure there were many.
I'm trying to think of it, and I told Betty I really didn't know any really,
Mischievous
the things, that he did, because we always saw the cute side.
He wasn't bashful, but he did nothing wrong.
I had no memory of him in high school.
Right.
The only thing I have memory of him, he would hang with people like Butch Smith and all.
I don't know a whole lot to tell about it. We didn't know a whole lot about him for a long time. There was
There were
such a
any
big gap.
arrests, or-
We heard stuff. I read stuff, but
We made a pact 40 years ago that there was nothing bad about either one of us.
His sophomore year at St. Andrews, he got into a lot of trouble.
Tell me about that construction site there at St. Andrews, and had a big, and he may not like me telling this, but it happened. But he said it had a bulldozer out there. So Larry cranks the bulldozer and he drives it all around the campus up there at nighttime.
They were building the campus library, and seeing all that heavy equipment just sitting there on the weekends and at nights just drove him crazy. So he managed to somehow get a dozer, a big dozer, started and drive it across campus and move a few things around.
He always gave the impression that he was all business. And he wanted you to think that he was all business, but he was always thinking about practical jokes that he could play.
If you're in a playful mood, don't ever dare him to do something, because pretty often you'll get something dumped in your lap. He never did it to me, but I've witnessed at least 4 pieces of pie and a couple glasses of water and once a glass of wine. And he just, you know, if you said something, he'd just tip it over.
I remember that you always had to keep one eye on him, no matter where you were, because you might be the butt of one of his practical jokes.
So I dumped a piece of pecan pie in a lady's lap one time. He just leaned over and dumped it right in, delivered it.
He towed me across the Matthews Bridge one day. He pulls up in front of me in his car, and I was in my old '78 Ford F-250, and hooks me up there and starts flying up and over the bridge. And of course, I had power steering and power brakes. Well, none of those work when your motor's not running. So he's coming over the bridge, and I'm just standing on my brakes, hoping that I wouldn't run into the boss's car, you know.
Larry Bowers is a complicated man. He strikes me as deeply intellectual.
People try to put us talking about my generation.
One of the things I think that comes to my mind in the 18 years that you taught me the meaning of the business term out of the box. Most of the things that I was involved with you always challenged me to be out of the box or to join you out of the box. And
He stood on a mutual customer's desk to get his attention. And I thought, A, he's crazy, but B, he got his point across.
It was running sort of late in the afternoon, and we needed to see the rest of this property, and I was in the back seat. Bill was in the passenger side, and Larry's driving. And he was trying to hurry, and I think he was trying to impress us too, because we were going about 35 miles an hour across this field, and we were hitting these drainage ditches so hard that my shoulder was hitting the roof of the car. And we were both yelling at him to slow down, we were going to have a wreck, and he was just laughing at the top of his lungs.
How in the world your wife has put up with you, I don't know.
You were afraid to get up and go to the bathroom because he would rip the sheet off of your drafting table, and he'd go make prints of it, and he'd stamp it for construction, and he just got done telling you that this was for preliminary purposes only, you know.
What he brings is Larry Bowers, and thank goodness he's unique, because we couldn't handle too many more. We couldn't handle one more.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday.
I was headed off to Alaska. I found the van that I wanted and took it back home, and Dad pretty much just showed me everything I need to know about how to care for this van. Something that Dad did that only Dad, I think, could really come up with was how to turn this van into a small apartment.
Larry would go jogging every afternoon. And he'd come by my house about 4 or 5 o'clock when MASH came on, because he loved MASH. He'd come by and eat half my dinner, sit on the chase lane and watch MASH for an hour, then jog home. And I mean, it was a real special time for me, because I had him by myself a little bit.
Sometimes I'll get home and I'll go pop a big bag of popcorn, and I'll have my white t-shirt on and in my underpants, a big thing of cranberry juice. I'm sitting there watching like some news program and like go, what can I think of that I do that isn't like that?
Every Christmas your dad would show up on that doorstep with the Christmas ice cream, with that big grin in the door saying, "Hey, I thought you might like some ice cream for Christmas."
If he had a choice of anything he would like to do right now, he would want to get on a plane and go spend some time with Stella and hang out with that little girl.
Happy birthday, Larry. I hope you have many, many more, and I hope I'm here to help you celebrate.
Larry, I love you. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a big day.
Happy birthday, Larry.
Happy birthday, and 100 more.
Larry, I hope you have a real happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Larry. We are so happy that you are 60. I can't believe that.
Happy 70th birthday.
Happy birthday, Larry. May you have many, many more.
No, happy 60th, Larry. You're just a little bit older than I am, but I do wish you a happy birthday. I've enjoyed our friendship. I look forward to seeing you again. I've enjoyed the visits that we've had. when you come down to be with your mother.
Larry, I can't believe that you're coming up on your 60th. Well, maybe I can, because next Thursday I'll be 80.
Happy birthday, Larry, and it's great to get to know your three handsome young men. So I hope to see you when you do get down. You come down at the lake and go swimming with us.
Well, happy birthday, Larry. Man, 60.
So you're 60. Let me see. You passed the speed limit and you're speeding.
You know I can't talk. I'm tired-tongued, so I love you and God bless you, and I hope you have another 60th birthday, 120th birthday.
Everything that you always did for the family, not only you, but your whole family, that you ever did for my mother, I appreciate it. And there's no way I could ever express how much the thanks.
I love you very much, and you've been so good to my family, to the Radcliffe family. We could not make it without you, because when I first saw you, I had 3 jobs. Now I have 1, and I say thank you, Jesus, and God bless you.
Have a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Larry. I love you, and I wish you many more.
Happy birthday, Uncle Larry.
Happy birthday on your 60th birthday, and I hope you have many, many more. And we're all glad to be here to wish you that exciting time.
I know the best birthday present you're going to get is having the 3 boys and their 2 wives and significant other with you, and most of all having baby Stella. So we love you and best birthday wishes.
Larry, I really still miss you. Nobody smiles and gives me a kiss the way you did, and I still wear the perfume that you always liked.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Come on, Judy. Happy birthday, dear Larry Judy. Happy birthday to you. And many more to come.
Larry, she just hit 80 last Saturday. That's the reason she's saying that. Because I can tell you, we don't miss you that bad. We know you're doing well and making a hell of a lot of money in Atlanta, Georgia.
I wish you a happy birthday and many more. And may the Lord's blessings continue to be with you.
Okay, Larry, this is to tell you happy birthday and to let you know that in our choir, no matter how old you get, we still want everybody to be there.
Happy birthday to a wonderful friend.
Hey Larry, glad you're finally old. You caught up with me now. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Larry.
Have a great one.
And many more.
It's really fun knowing you and getting to know you better in small group, and hope you have a great 60th birthday. I'll be there Sunday.
You're still a big guy. Hope you do another 20 years or maybe 40 years. I'd like to see you at age 100.
And Lil, hang in there, sweetheart. You got a long, long life ahead of you, but you got to be charged up and ready to go with this man, because he does get excited and he does get emotional every now and then. Stay calm, stay cool, Larry. Happy 60th birthday.
I hope you have a wonderful birthday and have many more. What's this, a turning point in life, I guess? 60. Goodness gracious.
And I hope we all have your energy level when we get that age. So very happy birthday and many more, and much happiness and rewards in the rest of your second half of your life.
You've always been a friend and compassionate friend and concerned about others. Your leadership in the church and Scouts and here at this office has always been something I admired, and just want to wish you a happy birthday.
And Larry, as far as your 60th birthday, I wish you the best and wish you a lot more birthdays. It's been a real pleasure getting to know you, and even more of a pleasure getting a chance to meet your son finally, and of course getting to know Lil, and look forward to continuing to know you guys over the next several years.
Hey Larry, happy 60th birthday, man. I'm glad to have been working with you for the last 7 years, looking for many more years to come.
Between Boy Scouts, which I admire you for, and now the chance to work with you, I wish you the happiest of birthdays, and only hope that I'm as kicking as good as you are when I get to be as old as you are. So Larry, happy birthday.
I tell you this, Larry, we appreciate what you're doing in Georgia. You keep up the good work, and wish you all the happy returns in the world on your 60th birthday.
I can't believe it, Larry, that you're actually turning 60, since I've been 60 for a few months. But are really one of my best friends ever, and I have enjoyed all of the years that I've known you, and I wish you a very, very happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Larry!
Hi, Larry. Happy birthday. You're joining us senior citizens now. I just had my 60th this week, so
Think of yourself
it's
as
fun.
a wobbly, a blue hair and a wobbly to be.
Happy birthday, we wish you well. And it's amazing how much Andrew looks like you.
Dad, happy birthday. I hope that you have a wonderful birthday. I hope that this is a great surprise and something that you really cherish a lot.
Happy 60th birthday, Mr. Bowers.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dad. I love you, and I don't think I could be where I am today without your support.
Happy birthday, Larry.
Dad, I just wanted to say that I love you and I'm very proud to call myself your son, and I just wanted to wish you a very happy birthday.
Larry, happy birthday. Thank you for not kidnapping me on my wedding day. I appreciate that, and all the other nice things that you've done for us over the years.
Happy Papa. Happy Papa. Happy Papa. Happy. Mommy.
I laughed at all his words. I thought he was a bitter man. He spoke of women's ways. They trap you and they use you before you even know. For love is blind.